Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Our Lives Across the Border. Hope you guys are doing well. It is actually Friday evening for us, and it is about 6:30, and we are done selling donuts. I should say Dad is done selling donuts, so he is on his way home. So I am just heating up what I already made for him for dinner. Let me show you what we got. So I just did some chili con carne, some beans, and then of course we're gonna toast some tortillas on our highly seasoned tortilla pan. So I wanted to take this time again to thank all of you for all the love and support you have been showing me and my family. I see it and it makes my heart feel full, and it makes me smile because this is not something that I'm used to. I've never been like a person to share anything or just be online like this. Yeah, it's fun to be online and maybe watch somebody else, but to actually share your journey can be very, very intimidating. And so with people supporting you and stuff, like it makes you want to share and show others that there is hope in whatever situation you're in, because you could take it as a deportation thing, or you could just take it as you're going through something in life and it's just going forward, moving forward the best way that you can. And that's what, we're doing over here. So sharing it with people and seeing, some people that are like, wow, you're so encouraging, and if you can do it, I can do it. I love to see those things. Sometimes, we do feel probably that when we get stuck with something that it's like the end of the world. And we're just kind of showing you that it's not. This is what we're doing over here in our situation. It's working for us. And I hope that our story can help somebody else that's going through maybe a similar situation or any situation, just to show that you can move forward and you can overcome something as long as you put your mind to it. So thanks again for all the love and support and the kind words, because like I said, it's exciting. Yeah, you do get those negative people. You get people that make comments about the most craziest things, like your diet or your dogs, or whatever, and I try not to let that stuff bother me or even comment on it. Yes, our dogs do have kennels, and there are times of the day where they are in there for certain reasons, but other than that, they're outside with the kids, they're inside running around. But I don't, it's like I'm not going to respond to that. But, for the most part, it's just things like little nitpicker things like that you're kind of like, but you have to remember that you can't respond to everything, and you don't need to justify yourself, So anyways. And also too, one thing that I have to remind myself is that we are only showing 8 to 12 minutes of snippets of our day, so anyways, I just wanted to touch on that. Just something I have to remind myself to stay positive, you know what I mean, when you do get the little negative Nancy's. So for all of you that are supporting and continue to support, we really highly appreciate it, and we hope to keep making you some fun content. So one thing I did want to talk about in this video, and I have made numerous videos about this and then never posted it, but it's basically like the number one question that we always get asked, or someone will kind of make a comment. And I've had it from friends, I've had it from family, from supporters, and of course it is the safety here in Mexico. Now, we live really close to the border in the Mexicali Valley. We do not live in TJ. And I'm not saying that TJ is dangerous and all that, because I really don't know. To be completely honest, we don't watch a lot of TV here, so the things that we hear and see is what you hear from, like if he's out selling donuts and something happens, and chitter chatter, the chisme, people are speaking about what's going on around you. Or you might see something if you're following the news pages on Facebook. There has been things that have happened where not in the little area that we live, but maybe 10 miles from where we live. And it is just like in the in the States when you've got groups of people that don't get along, and so they're kind of fighting with each other. So no, you don't want to be in the crossfire. I wouldn't ever want to witness anything. I do hear other things of, like they're doing this and they're doing that, and they very well could be, but I try to not go out at night, and I don't even like to go out at night in the United States unless I'm with somebody, to be completely honest. And it seems like even now that like more recently, when I do go to a mall or to Walmart or Target, when I am in the States, you kind of start to think like, what if this or what if that? So I think nowadays you just never know. And I, of course, pray that nothing bad ever happens, but I don't feel scared. I'm not naive. I know that there are things around us and anything can happen at any time. But I also feel, living in the United States, that that's the same thing. Anything can happen. In fact, for those of you that have been following us, you know that I was over in Wisconsin for a little bit with my mom. And I actually got a part-time job the last few months that I was there, just to bring in a little bit of extra income. And one of the trainings that we did was if somebody was to come in and, do bad things and how you're supposed to respond to that, and I have worked numerous jobs and never, ever have I ever had some sort of training like that. And it really kind of like hit me hard, like, wow, this is the life that we're living now. Whether you're living in Mexico or you're living in the United States, like there's still, it doesn't matter where you are, there's things going on. And I'm not sugarcoating it here. I do know that there is some bad things that have happened, but we've been very fortunate that they're not around us, and I pray it stays away from us. But I just don't live every day scared. I just can't. You have to go forward and continue on with what you're doing and be vigilant and make sure that, you're, maybe not out at certain times or in an area where you're not supposed to be, which, like, I'll be honest, there was a time when we first moved here. This is actually kind of a funny story. So we'd only been here for like 2 months, and we went over to his aunt's house, which is like not even 10 miles from here. And at the time, Stella, our oldest Frenchie, was a puppy. And so we took her with us, and there was actually like a Christmas parade and stuff. And so we took her with us, and then we ended up staying a little bit later than we intended. And so she was getting, antsy, and she wouldn't calm down and stuff. So I, volunteered, hey, let me just run her home really quick, So I wasn't going to stay there because I couldn't, speak with anybody. And I wanted him to spend that time with his family. So I was like, I'll just run her home really quick. Like, no big deal, And I probably wanted to grab something too. I don't remember. But so I drive all the way over here, like no big deal. And then he calls me and he's like, hey, you need to be really careful because my aunt just told me that they're stopping people and stealing their cars. And I was like, what? And so I had to drive back, the 10 miles back, and I was terrified the whole time. So when I got there, I was like, why did you tell me that? I was so scared, But I mean, basically what they were saying is like they were carjacking people, or it had happened, or whatever. So, but things like that also happen in other places too. So I just try to keep that in mind, that anything can happen, and you just got to, of course, try to stay away from those areas, and just hopefully that's not going to happen to us. So now that I've rambled on forever, I want to thank you guys again for all the support, and I hope you watched this whole video. I hope you subscribe to the channel if you have not. Hit the like, give me a hype, and turn the notification bell on so you can see when we post a video. And I do kind of want to try to go live a little bit more. I went live the other day, and it was my first time doing it for the most part by myself. Like I said, I'm new at this, so I get kind of nervous, but I think it's something fun to kind of meet new people, different people, even if it is online, So, again, thank you for all the love and support, and we'll talk soon. Bye.